Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. My name is Peter Loshak. Today is Monday, August 21st. The college football season starts officially this Saturday. Shit's getting real. It's really real. Only a few games, but and then next week, the roller coaster starts in earnest. And, of course, I'm going to be continuing to cover MLB all the way through September, and I will also be giving all of my college football picks officially in various ways, either on these shows or on Twitter. I'll figure out the exact format so that anyone who wants to audit me easily will be able to, because, transparency is essential for me. And right now, though, we'll start with this is a live show we do every day at 10:30 Eastern time. Small slate of games today in MLB, but a few totals plays that I hit solidly on the overnight line. And, of course, as always, I will share them with you today. And they should be, decent percentage plays, maybe 53 and a half. That's about it. That's all I ever expect for myself on my totals. So these totals could easily lose. Of course, yesterday was Bartolo Colon day. I tweeted out that it was, and I did cash for the team total over, although I also included two other first five-inning team total overs that didn't cash. Jarrell Cotton had a nice start, and I had the Houston team total over, and that one lost. And I also had I forgot the other one that I had, but so 1 and 2 on my tweets yesterday, but last week, all 4 days in the show were winning days in MLB. All right, so let's quickly get to the bets that I made on the overnight line. The first one that I made, I guess the one I'm liking the most, would be Seattle at Atlanta. If you guys remember, sometime late last week, I forgot what it was. There was an Atlanta under that I was liking against Cincinnati, and that line got bet higher, and I was concerned about that, but I stuck to my guns. I held my bet, and it wound up cashing. And I feel like today I like the Seattle-Atlanta under as well. It's a little bit questionable because Fulton-Avich, of course, has had 2 bad starts in a row. A little bit forgivable, though. One of them, of course, was at Coors, and the other one was at St. Louis. St. Louis has a bit of a livelier lineup right now. So, a little bit forgivable. On the other hand, Fulton-Avich could easily be wearing down a bit at this point in the season. But I'm thinking that in this spot, he's worth a shot to have at least a decent start, a decent bounce back start after his 2 bad road starts. He might get hit, again after this one into September. But for today, I'm willing to bet that he has a decent start. And then the other side is this guy Alberts, who had a great record in AAA this year, but a long term has not shown the stuff that indicates that he's going to be able to be successful long term in the majors. But his last start was in the majors was solid. Again, his AAA numbers this year were good, and so overall, I'm willing to take a shot with the under 9.5. I did bet that one on the overnight line, and I forgot what number I got, but that one has also gotten bet up a little bit. But I'll give that one as an official pick here. Under 9.5, Seattle, Atlanta, plus 100 right now at Pinnacle and 5 Dimes and a few other places. So that is the first totals play that I will be happy to share with you. The second totals play that I will be happy to share with you is under 8.5 in Milwaukee, San Francisco. Of course, Milwaukee, can have a very productive lineup, but they've been slumping out for a while now. They're coming off of a series at Coors. Now they go into San Francisco, and the starting pitching matchup is Davies and Stratton. And Davies, of course, a guy who doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, but does get decent results overall, and particularly on the road. So I'm going to assume that he has another decent start here. And Stratton is a guy who, if you guys recall, he was the guy who had that spot start in place of Johnny Cueto, shockingly, and we were all very confused when that happened. And during the show, I famously said about 4 or 5 times, "Who the fuck is that? Stratton?" Well, it turns out that Stratton is pretty decent. His last start, he had 10 strikeouts, a nice start. Not sure what I think of him long term, but I think in this start, we can expect him to be decent again. He's had a lot of rest since that start, and I think it should be an okay assignment for him. So that's the second pick that I bet, and then I'm going to give on the over, and then I bet it on the overnight line, and I'm going to give it here. That's also gotten bet up a teeny bit, but I will ignore that, and I will give it under 8.5 minus 103 at Pinnacle the under in Milwaukee and San Francisco. And I kind of like that one as well. And then the third one that I did bet on the overnight line is the under. This one I like the least out of the three that I bet. The under in the Dodgers-Pittsburgh game. Wood against Cole. Wood, of course, is pitching as well as ever. Cole, a little bit iffy, right? He's given up some home runs, and obviously the Dodgers have a lineup that can take advantage of a guy if he's having an off day. I'm willing to bet, though, that Cole is good enough to keep the game under 8.5, and I'm hoping that that Wood has another stellar, excellent start. Hopefully we get, 6 or 7 innings out of him, no more than 2 runs. And if that's the case, I'm thinking that the under at 8.5 is an okay bet. At 8, I wouldn't be giving it, but at 8.5, I am willing to give it, and I did bet it. And again, out of the 3, that's the one I like the least, I would say. I like it enough though to give it, so I will give that one under 8.5 minus 115 at Pinnacle, and that is the under 8.5 in the Dodgers and Pittsburgh. So those are the 3 bets that I bet on the overnight line, and those are the 3 picks that I like enough to give here to start. And I definitely like the Seattle Atlanta one the most, Milwaukee San Francisco the second most, and the Dodgers Pittsburgh one the third most. And then I actually also bet small the under 9.5 in Boston Cleveland. I don't know if I like that one enough to give it, but Erod is okay, not dominant, but should be okay. Clevenger, kind of an unpredictable, uncertain quantity here. He's easily capable of having a 7-inning shutout start. Also can get hit, and the last time that he faced Boston, he did get hit pretty hard. So it's not clear what we're going to get from Clevenger, but I did take a shot with the under 9.5 on that one. I think I'm going to hold off on that one as an official pick for now. Other games, of course, that are interesting is that it is this guy Smith starting once again for Oakland, a rookie who is a nice story, 36-year-old guy who doesn't have a lot of experience in the majors, and he's a guy that I've been auto fading and betting first 5 innings team totals overs with. Here, let me just quickly get hearing some audio here. Let me just quickly mute the audio here. 1 second. All right. So I faded Chris Smith last time. I believe that was a low-hanging fruit, and I'm looking to do the same thing here again with Baltimore on the first 5 innings team total over, but I'm worried that it might be 3.5. I actually didn't check this one. No, it's 3 minus 125. That is tempting and borderline. I'm probably going to give it. I just have to think about it for a couple seconds here. And then on the other side, Wade Miley hasn't been super bad. He's been okay, not great, but a little bit better in his last 4 starts. So I'm not sure what I think about the Oakland team total over on the first 5. And Baltimore, -1 line is also tempting, but it's a little bit high. If Bailey gets hit in the first, if Miley gets hit in the first 5 innings team total, if Miley gets hit, the first 5 innings over is probably a great bet. If Miley has another decent start, then Baltimore -1 is a great bet. So I'm probably going to give the Baltimore first 5 innings team total over to hit Smith. Smith is just a little bit tricky because in his last start he gave up 3 runs in the first inning, which allowed us to cash the low hanging fruit first 5 innings team total over. But then he did settle down and he had a nice run of 15 batters where he retired most of them. So Smith is not an auto fade. He's a guy that is very subpar at best, but not necessarily an auto fade, and so I'm a little bit hesitant to take this team total over here at 3. Not sure what I want to do with it. Another game that's interesting to me for sure is the Arizona and Mets game, and Gesellman is starting for the Mets. He has big upside, but he hasn't been getting it done in the majors in any way, with any kind of consistency. And his minor league rehab starts were a little bit iffy as well. But then on the other side, Taijuan Walker has definitely been struggling recently. He looks like he's wearing down. I do give a solid edge though to Arizona, and I would like the Arizona second half in this one, and the line is -140. It's a little bit high, but that's another lead that I might give Arizona on the second half at -140. And of course, the first 5 innings over in that game as well is tempting. It's 5, a little bit high. Both Walker and Gesellman can be good, but they're also both looking vulnerable right now. And so that's my thoughts on that. The Minnesota White Sox doubleheader, I haven't looked at all because there were no overnight lines. I didn't even have the pitching assignments yet. It looks like Rodon is starting in game 1 for the White Sox. He, of course, has been doing very well at a modest home favorite line. So that's interesting. I'll look into that a little bit later. Haven't had a chance to look into that one. And That's about it for the card. So once again, my official picks: under 8.5 in Milwaukee, San Francisco, under 8.5 in Dodgers, Pittsburgh, and under 9.5 in Seattle, Atlanta. Bets that I'm thinking about are the Arizona on the second half and Baltimore on the first 5 innings team total, and then the Texas Angels game, too uncertain there. I'm gonna pass on that one for sure. All right, so that breaks the hell down out of the very small card today. Let's see if there are any comments indicating possible agreement or disagreement with any of the opinions that I gave. Tomarino Tomor says, I think Baltimore will hit Smith hard. He struggles with right-handed hitters and the home runs. This lineup is a tough matchup for him in this park. Yes, and of course, I believe that Baltimore faced Smith a couple starts ago and hit 4 home runs off of him. Let me just make sure I'm not hallucinating that. Yeah, 2 starts ago, Smith faced Baltimore in Oakland, I believe, and gave up 4 home runs. So that's encouraging. Tomarino Tomor, I might wind up giving that one myself. Let's see. Tomarino Tomor says, I think Boston is a tough matchup for Clevenger, who has struggled home runs from left-handed hitters. Rodriguez is struggling too. Good bullpens, though. Yeah, that one is a very borderline. I bet the under 9.5, but it was just a token bet, and I think that I might not give that one as a pick here. Let's see. Other comments coming in. All right, I'm going to go back to the beginning and see if there are any comments. Lou Skunt and Rich Banks fired up today. Rich Banks asking, just waiting for the low-hanging. I don't know if there's any low-hanging fruit today. I would say my favorite bet is the under in the Atlanta game, but I wouldn't call that low-hanging fruit. If there is anything qualifies as low-hanging fruit, I guess, as Tomarino Tomor pointed out, it might be the Baltimore first 5 innings team total over, or just the full game team total over. Those overs 3s on the first 5 innings can be tricky, but again, is Smith going to be able to hold this Baltimore lineup to 2 or fewer in the first 5 innings? Maybe, but definitely feels like a little bit of an unlikely proposition. So that might be, if anything qualifies in the full game team total for Baltimore is just 5.5. So I don't know. They might pick it up late. That's a tricky one. But if there was anything that qualified as low hanging fruit, I guess it would be a fade of Smith. My favorite bet of the day that's not low hanging is the under in the Atlanta game. All right, let's see. Other comments. Rich Banks says he likes the A's. Oh, interesting. Okay, he likes the A's. Yeah, I mean, look, if Miley struggles here, then he'll probably struggle as much as Smith. And then you got a good bet with Oakland, and definitely a good bet on the first 5 innings over. So I can see that. If you like the A's, I think you also have to like the first 5 innings over at 5.5. All right. Okay. more squabbling between Tomarino Tomor and BMOC. He goes, I can't stand BMOC, acts up but cries like a girl when you challenge him. Yep, just like those boxers used to get into the ring with Mike Tyson. They looked all tough before they got in the ring. Then when they got hit by Mike Tyson, they would make very feminine noises, and they're crying like a little girl. So yeah, understood. All right, let's see. Mike Heap says, what's up? What's up, Mike Heap? Jose Guardado says, what's up, Pete? And this now reminds me of the WNBA on Friday, which I had overall some good picks. The Indiana pick was a big loser, but everything else was dead on. But it reminds me, the Chicago game. That is how basketball goes. One of my picks was Chicago plus 7.5. Goes into overtime. So obviously that was probably the right side there. First overtime is tied. That's no problem. Goes into the second overtime. Second overtime, LA covers the 7.5, and so I get a loss. But I still believe that I was on the right side of that. That happens somewhat regularly in basketball, and it's sort of like a little bit of a foreshadowing of what we're going to see a lot of when college basketball picks up soon. But again, the WNBA picks from Friday were good. San Antonio cashed easily. The team total under on that one cashed easily, and I'm looking forward to WNBA this week for sure. I tend to like WNBA late in the regular season as well. There can be some unique scheduling situations that the market just can't adjust to, and because they have to base the lines on recent performance and full season statistics, and you can find some great value in WNBA at the end of the regular season. So hopefully there'll be a few of those, and I'll be looking for that for sure. All right, let's see. Donald Mao says he likes Rangers with the plus money. Yeah, that is interesting. Hamels has definitely been, although Hamels in his last start had some control issues, and in general, I don't know. Hamels has been very impressive since he came back. I was expecting to struggle. That hasn't happened, but some control issues did pop up. On the other hand, this is a very bad scheduling spot for the Angels. They're traveling with no rest all the way back from the East Coast. So I would agree with you on that one. I would be leaning Texas it's at surprisingly at a wow. It's a damn. You can get plus 142 on Texas at the BetOnline sportsbetting.ag book. So yeah, even though I'm down on Hamels in general still, and his recent control issues make me even more concerned, I would take Texas there at the plus money. I'm not going to give that one as a pick. It's an interesting game, but I agree with you on that one. Donald Mao. All right, let's see. And Tomer also agreeing with me on the under in the Atlanta game. Foltynewicz has struggled against two teams that have seen him and knew him. Albert's numbers against left-handed hitters are great. Should be a good matchup for him. And, of course, the reason I like it is just because it is a high total, 9.5. There have been a few 9.5s in Atlanta games that I've been betting under recently, and they've come in at 9. So at 8.5, I don't even know if I'd be on it. At 9, I'd be liking it a whole lot less. But at 9.5, I like it. And again, one of Foltynewicz's recent starts was at Coors, so you can give him a little bit of a break for that. All right, let's see. Other Donald Mao says Pittsburgh went deep into their bullpen yesterday. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's not great. Yeah, again, my under on that play is my least favorite play of the day. It's just predicated on Wood having another excellent start, which I think is a reasonable assumption, and on Cole being good enough, which is a questionable assumption because he has been giving up homers recently. But I'm hoping that at least for this one he's okay. That's a tricky one. That's a tricky one. Armin Hinjosa, what's up? Says what's up. I say what's up right back to you. Everyone talking about the eclipse, of course. Let's see. Yeah, Blake Kersey says 2-0 on WA, feeding the Lynx and riding fever on bounce back from the 60-point blowout game. Yes. The fever might bounce back. There's no WNBA games tonight though. Let's see. Okay. Tomer says Stratton's numbers against left-handed hitters in a small sample size are scary. Davies has been great on the road. I think that game is tough to bet. Stratton seems in a letdown spot. Kind of, yes. I also think that Milwaukee's lineup is in a letdown spot as well. And Davies has been very impressive on the road, and Stratton, considering his place in his career, I think is gonna be. And also, Stratton has extra rest for this one. I forgot how many days he's coming off of, but he should be. I'm willing to bet that Stratton is okay here, at least good enough to give some value to the under at 8.5, considering where it's being played and the spot for Milwaukee. Yeah, it's a little bit tricky, but yes, for sure. All right, let's see. Other comments. Brian Green, Pistol Keith, give me a shout out. Expert Picks 1000 at Instagram page. There you go, Brian Green. Shout out to Brian Green, Expert Picks Instagram page at Expert Picks. All right. Okay. I guess that's about it. Jose Guardado says, Pete, you bet Euro soccer? No, I don't have enough time to crunch it adequately. I would like to, though. I think it's interesting. I do bet the World Cup. I knew that Brazil was a great fade and Germany was a great bet on in a recent in the recent World Cup. So, but yeah, I don't bet Euro soccer. Just don't really have enough time to crunch it. All right, so yeah, Davies gets no respect because he's a 26th round pick. I think he also gets no respect because he doesn't get a lot of strikeouts, and because his in general his stuff is seen as not overwhelming. A guy who has pitched a little bit over his head and gotten a little bit lucky. All right. Oh, Lou Skunt says I asked legit questions and got passed over. What the fuck? What legit questions did you ask, Lou Skunt? Look, Lou Skunt. Yes, you do ask legit questions, but Lou Skunt. When you choose a screen name of Lou Skunt, people are going to take less seriously than some other people who just have, a normal name or a name that doesn't make any sense. But all right, let's see. Let's find. Where is Lou Skunt's legit comment? Okay, there you go. Pete, do you like the Dodgers run line or money line tonight? No, I'm not going to bet it. I'm certainly not going to bet it, but yes, I do like the Dodgers. You know, I definitely made that one a pick. I think Wood is going to be as good as ever. As someone else pointed out, Pittsburgh did go deep into their bullpen yesterday, and also Cole is a little bit unreliable and giving up some home runs. So yeah, I do like the Dodgers again. I'm not sure if I'm going to bet it, and I'm definitely not going to give it as a pick here. But overall, I do like the Dodgers again. And if I were going to take them, I would take them probably on the -1 line, not the 1.5 line. But I would definitely take them on the -1 line over just the money line at -150, because you know, if they win, you know, it's probably because Cole gives up a couple home runs, and yeah. So once again, I do like the Dodgers. The Dodgers, of course, have been a money game in and game out, although not one of the top teams in terms of ROI in August. They are number 6. I just caught that, and surprised me a little bit, but that's just a result of their you know, their money lines being so massively high game in and game out that it's hard for them to build up big ROI numbers. But as far as units are concerned, of course, they've been cashing. And I do like the Dodgers once again. And just once again, to you, just a general life tip to you, Lou Skunt, if you pick a screen name that is extraordinarily vulgar like that, yeah, you're going to have a harder time than the average person being taken seriously on a regular basis. But there's my answer to that. All right, but yes, I do like the Dodgers again, and I might, you know, if I was going to look to it, I might look at the Pittsburgh first 5 innings team total under. Maybe that would be a little safer, because you know, you're going to need a good start for Wood to give that bet a value, and 1.5 plus 107. Yeah, it's tricky, but yeah, in general, I do like the Dodgers once again. Once again. All right, and let me I did preview the NFL game that's going on today, and I thought that Cleveland might actually have some value, but I previewed it with Joe Gavazzi, and it falls into one of those systems, I believe, where like where one team covered or one team lost and the other team won in week 1, and you're supposed to bet the team that lost in week 2 of the preseason in those situations. So he gave that reason for liking the Giants here. I was thinking that you know, the Giants have less to play for, and Cleveland has some life to them, especially on defense. Looks like Cleveland's really buying in on defense to what Greg Williams is pressuring them to do. So I would also be leaning under on this one as well. Let me just quickly check what the totals the total for this one is here. Yeah, it's down to 38.5 at SIA. I like the under when it was 39, and I would still like it a little bit at 38. Probably going to hold off I'm not going to give that one as a pick. I did bet it slightly when it was 39. In general, though, Cleveland's defense has really been coming to play, and that might also be something that we'll see in the regular season. Cleveland might be a good bet on their unders as well in the regular season, based on how the defense is responding. And it might be a good bet ATS. They might be a little bit underestimated and play a little bit tougher and more cohesively this year in general. But that's it. No official pick on the preseason game that goes tonight. And let's see. Brian, okay, let's see. Other comments. All right, okay, that's about it. Let's just King Al says Minnesota White Sox beat doubleheader, and I haven't had a chance to look at those. There were no overnight lines on that game, obviously, and I wasn't even sure of the starting pitching for that series for the doubleheader today. So no opinions on that one. And in general, as you guys know, I tend to take doubleheaders. You know, I make my decisions on doubleheaders an hour or half an hour before first pitch on each game when I do bet them. All right, so. That's it. And you know what? I will throw on the Arizona second half as an official pick as well. So that brings me to 4 picks today. Under 8.5 in the Dodgers, Pittsburgh. Under 8.5 in Milwaukee, San Francisco. Under 9.5 in Seattle and Atlanta. And also Arizona on the second half at -140. And you know what? I will throw on the Baltimore team total over first 5 innings. What the hell? That's a 5th pick. That's going to be over 3. First 5 innings, over 3, -125 at 5 picks today. I'll throw that one on there. Hopefully Baltimore will be able to hit Smith. I think they should be able to. And what will we get from Miley? Not exactly sure, but I will take that one. So 5 picks on the small card today. That wraps it up. Thanks everyone for all your comments. Funny comments as always, and always very illuminating comments from all the people who take this stuff very seriously. And we'll be back tomorrow for the Tuesday card.